some blood work and some other tests. Um, and I think for her, just out of the blue, for her joking, oh, I don't have cancer, so we can go do this. It was because it was the blood work that came back because she was having some issues, and now they got to go in and do the hysterectomy now. I don't think it, and I could be completely off on that, to be honest with you, but I don't remember that was our biggest fear going into that part right there, that it was all cancer. It never crossed my mind when we were sitting in that room with the doctor after he had what we thought he did the surgery, him going, we couldn't do the surgery, she's got cancer. And I just went, huh? Uh, like completely shocked and had no idea that was a possibility. I mean, completely shocked, just not even thinking it could possibly be true or right or anything. Uh, and then it just turned into, okay, so explain to me what's going on, type of thing. And he said when he went in that it was everything was just covered in the cancer, and he couldn't see that on anything because all the other tests were internal and not inside of the belly. Everything else they had already done. And so when he got in there, it was just covering their internals. And he said, I couldn't do anything except just clip a piece and get out so he didn't disturb it. So, yeah, that was, I mean, a complete total shock to hear those words come out of his mouth.
He had no idea of the severity when he told us, or the type, because at that point, all he saw was that it was covering, like I said, the outside of her uterus and organs and all that was around when he went in, and he just saw it. And so, like I said, he just clipped a piece and came on out, and he had no idea type or how bad. All he said was, we ran a quick test and it was a cancerous cells. So, your initial thought after he says it to you, is shock, kind of disbelief. Said this, and I'm in that shock mode. And then immediately, like his parent kicked in because I didn't think anything about it. I'm going, oh my gosh, Haley's sitting right here listening to this doctor say that her mom's got cancer. And so now I'm turning to see her reaction, how she is shocked. Reason not here. Okay, both sets of parents sitting out in the lobby waiting on me. I asked if she knew. He said no, she hadn't woke. She wasn't awake, so she didn't know. And so I talked with Haley. I said, we've got to go get a hold of Reed. Okay, both sets of parents sitting out in the lobby waiting on me. What do I do now? How this? So you ask questions. He talks a little bit. Again, he can't tell you much other than it's there. The whole time I'm going, I've got to sit here and tell her parents that their daughter's got cancer. I guess my life of a coach and just being straightforward and just spitting stuff out and not worried about sugarcoats things. I just sat down and, you go, look, they couldn't do the surgery. They got in there, found cancer. He don't know how much or how bad. He just knows it's there. And that's really all we know. And the look on their face, I mean, I don't think I could have walked out and punched them in the mouth and they gave me that same look of dismay and shock that they gave when they heard their daughter had cancer. And so I remember telling you, and you just had that look like, huh? It was like you understood it, but either you didn't believe it or it was just not registering yet the severity of what we just said. Your mom's got cancer. And I think you did. You asked what and how much. I had no idea how bad it was until that day at the doctor when I go, you and Haley were there and your mama, if you remember that. Mm-hmm. And we're talking to her and your mother sitting on the table and she said, you ain't questions. And I went, yeah. I said, nobody's told us where we're at in this, how bad, what stage, what point. No, nothing. I had no idea. I just knew it was not a good type of cancer because they told us it was at appendicitis. She looks at your mother and she goes, I'll only tell him what you want me to tell him. She didn't know either. It's typical of your mother. She goes, and she's looked at me like, why would you even ask that question? One. And then she said, well, now that he's asked, I guess go ahead. Her typical, I didn't want to do this, but you already jumped ahead of me. And that's when she said stage 4. I went, oh, that was another reason. Then I go, now I know why she didn't want me to ask in front of all, me. I don't think ahead of time sometimes like that. The time when that doctor said, you've got stage 4 cancer was the only time in my mind at that point up till then that this isn't good. Because I'm like you, there was never a point, even when he told us when we had the test done was with the doctors and we did some things, that there was never a point you're going, we can't beat this. Won't beat this. This isn't just going to be a bump in the road, a step that we got to take to prove that God's in charge. He's got us. Whatever. That we won't beat it. Cancer and how it was, and that it was not it was not when that treatment killed it and it went away. They were just hoping to contain it. Jeez, that 12-hour surgery and that huge recovery where they took everything out and cleaned it and dug out the cancer and did all that. Even then they go, it's not if it comes back, it's when and where. So there was never a moment of, oh, this is okay, I went, this is bigger than what we thought. That's when the conversation she and I had privately, driving, most of the times, crazy enough, it was always driving somewhere, of what's next, what are we going to do, how are we going to handle it, how do we move forward, all those good things. I don't know if you had ever seen her down. Now, obviously, we did a little bit as a family. We'd see her in a little pain, a little suffering, but anybody else that ever saw her, it was always a smile on her face. We got this. Still calling and encouraging other people, still sending text messages to people who are going through other issues to tell them she's thinking about them, she's praying for them, she loved them. That was her. Never focused on herself. She was doing the work. That late July, we have the All-Star game. So it's late July. She's going to work. She's bringing me pillows and blankets because I forgot them to go stay in the dorm I was coaching the All-Star game. And then, crap, a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever it is, that's when we knew it hit the lungs. We started struggling to breathe. Oxygen tanks got bigger, a little push more. Emergency room trips became a little more frequent with pains, and her personality was truly, God's got it. We trust him. She was just, golly, I don't know. Her strength was amazing. Her encouragement.